Hi, I'm Bryan Paul. Welcome to another episode of Backlogged. Let's get right to it. This week I chose the first game in a trilogy that spans 3 systems. I'm gonna play them all, but let's do this one by one. Gargoyle's Quest on the original Game Boy was released May 2nd, 1990. Developed by Capcom, who mostly made arcade games until December 1985, when they ported their arcade hit 1942 onto the NES. And since then, Capcom has been synonymous with home video games. Now known mostly for Resident Evil, Street Fighter, and Monster Hunter, Capcom has a rich and varied past, and during the 8 and 16-bit eras, they could do virtually no wrong. In Gargoyle's Quest, you'll play as Firebrand, a villain from Capcom's own Ghosts & Goblins series, aka Ghouls and Ghosts. Don't ask why he's depicted as green on the box art, he's red. This is a mistake only made for this game in the series and only in the US. I'd tell you about the story, but it's pretty pointless. It's an excuse to take the role of a bad guy and help him save his demonic little world. It's not bad, and actually there's just enough of it to keep you interested. But there's not so much of it that it gets boring. And story heavy, it shouldn't be. This is in fact an RPG light. Very light, extremely light, so light it should float. Think Link's Adventure, minus the leveling. Gargoyle's Quest is very much an action platformer, tied together with simple RPG bits. It doesn't get bogged down with long conversations or even much of an inventory. This game knows what it is. And what it is tough. Firebrand is a flying gargoyle that can hover for brief periods of time and stick to walls. It's a unique control scheme that takes only moments to grasp, but you have to master it before getting very far at all. Memorizing enemy locations is a must, and I even found myself exploiting the limitations of the Game Boy itself to progress safely. This is old school gaming, which means it's frustrating and satisfying. The music is awesome, the controls are spot on, and the graphics really shine. For this video, I played the game through an emulator for the best video quality. But even on a Game Boy Advance SP or a Super Game Boy, this is a good looking game. Firebrand himself is a big sprite, and all of the levels are diverse enough. But when I think about Gargoyle's Quest, the real stars are the boss characters. They're usually not too tough, but they're all very different and very cool. Like a lot of action games from the same time, Gargoyle's Quest is a very short game. A pro could speedrun this game in about 90 minutes, but I am no pro. For this video, I admittedly used save states when things got really tough, and still, this was a 3 or 4 hour game. Anyone playing the game for the first time, the way it's meant to be played, could easily double or triple that time. It takes practice and memorization. The overworld looks like any RPG of the era. You'll wander around, traveling from town to town, looking for objects, talking to NPCs with a high frequency of random battles. For these, Gargoyle's Quest goes back to the side-scrolling view, challenging the player to kill just an enemy or two before getting back to your quest. I only have 2 minor gripes with Gargoyle's Quest. First, the overworld should be a place for exploration, yet exploring often yields no secrets or items, a problem only further exacerbated by the frequency of the random battles. It's not insane, but it hampers your desire for exploration pretty quickly. Second, and this one sucks, There is no ability to simply fall off a wall once you stick to it. You must jump or remain there forever. What this means is, if you cling to a wall with spikes directly above you, you are forced to jump into them. Extremely frustrating. I loved my time with Gargoyle's Quest. It was easy to get into, then quickly became difficult and oftentimes frustrating. It's completing challenges like this that remind me why I love retro games to begin with. Definitely an 8 out of 10. Stay tuned for parts 2 and 3 of this video, where I review the 2 sequels that this game spawned. So that's it for another episode of Backlogged. Make sure you stay up to date with myself and Mike Zeller by watching our every week podcast, Gaming Without Parole. You'll find that right here on YouTube. It's a show about gaming news and gaming past. As always, thank you for watching.